Yes! No men in this park!
Welcome back, Wild Ones. It's Cypris.
Oh, hot men in this park! Yes!
On today's episode of Cypris Tea, we are talking about traveling alone. Specifically, women traveling alone. Should you be afraid? Happily, I have a guest with me today who can share with us her personal insights from lived experience. You'll remember Carol from the video we did last year talking about your upcoming journey and touring her Tab trailer. Well, now Carol has been on her journey for 7 months, and she's ready to share with us what she's learned about women's fear. So pull up a mug and a chair and let's chat. So Carol, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Cypris. I'm really happy to be here with all of you.
So, Carol, I remember that initially when you were at the very beginning and just planning this whole journey and adventure, I remember you talking about how in telling people about your plans, the first thing that everybody seemed to go to was, aren't you afraid, or are you going to be safe?
I remember that. It made me step back a little bit. I mean, why was everyone so afraid of my safety out there? I'm traveling cross country. It's the United States. Eventually, they kind of made me stop and think, what am I missing? And it got to the point for me where I started to doubt myself because everyone was expressing this fear for me.
Sure. Well, I think this taps into that whole just fear women have of taking a walk in the dark at night or being in the Walmart parking lot after dark. There's this accepted thing that the world out there is potential attackville. So I think going off into the wild blue yonder without a safety net is very much representative of that general concern we have for safety.
I agree with you.
So what did you end up doing? That seems like a real impediment to traveling alone.
I didn't put a dummy in the seat next to me. I learned a few things by watching YouTube videos of other single women traveling.
Oh, sure.
Things like take a pair of men's boots along.
Okay.
And set them outside your RV. So it looks like there's a man in residence.
Ah.
And one of my sons gallantly provided me with a pair of old beat up, old big black boots that I could set outside. And I put those in the back of my truck, and they have traveled faithfully with me, though I've never pulled them out.
Wait, you've never...
I've never
used them?
I never felt that I needed to.
She's living dangerously. Okay.
Oh, another hint that I received from YouTubers was to always speak in plural. As in when they ask, where have you come from? I'd say, we came from the Midwest. Where are you going next?
Yeah.
We are going... I never once used that little trick either. I just never felt threatened or afraid or... Now, one of the things I did do is I kept an extra set of my truck keys right next to my bed so that if I felt threatened in any way, I could hit the alarm. Beep, 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 beep.
Okay.
As I got to know people around me, I would let them know, hey, if you ever hear my truck go off in the middle of the night, it means I'm afraid. I never had to use that either.
Built-in alarm system.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, I kind of ran with following my intuition.
Sure.
And staying alert. We women have all learned that, being aware of your surroundings.
Right. Walk to your car with your keys between your fingers. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think a lot of what we're talking about here boils down to, we haven't specifically said it, but fear of being attacked by men. right?
Exactly.
But are there other fears about traveling alone that don't involve male aggression?
The most stressful things for me were all the decisions that I had to make.
Oh, sure.
Wherever I went, I had to find a grocery store.
Uh-huh.
I had to choose gas stations I wasn't used to, and where to get propane for my propane tank. And so I had to turn to unknowns.
It sounds like you're talking about a lot of logistical, everyday survival stuff that we usually don't think about because we're familiar with our neighborhoods and where the resources are to do all the daily things. But you have a new neighborhood every day almost.
Exactly.
That could get you at a primal level of anxiety.
I ran into some mechanical issues with the trailer heating system, and my truck started giving me an error message. It had to be taken into a dealer.
And your dealer's days away.
My dealer's way back in Michigan.
Yikes.
And it occurred to me, I've spent my career in IT, and I was the one who would step in
Oh, right.
and fix things for people.
Right. You're the fixer.
I'm the fixer. And I'm having to go to an unknown fixer. It was a level of anxiety for me.
Thinking about it, taking your vehicle into a strange mechanic is a lot scarier than going into a doctor you've never seen.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. One of my biggest mechanic stresses was an incident on the freeway.
An incident on the freeway.
An incident on the freeway. I was traveling on a Nevada 6-lane freeway that was full of vehicles traveling 80 miles per hour. And I saw it, this flash off a semi-truck. It was a large piece of sheet metal. Metal.
Yikes.
And I heard it hit under the truck, made an awful noise.
In 6 lanes of rushing 80-mile-an-hour traffic.
Right. And so I slowed down a little bit. There was a rest stop coming up. And
Thank goodness.
I just turned on my signal, pulled into the rest stop, and then I got out and I checked my truck. Everything was fine. And then I looked at my trailer.
Right.
It was so sad.
Your pretty little brand new trailer.
There was a hole in the metal front.
It was the front mud flap type protector, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it. There's a term.
Some kind of like fender or... I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what it's called. Now, it was about an hour down the road. The adrenaline's calming down. And I thought, oh my goodness. As accidents go, boy, was I lucky.
Yeah, you could have
Nope.
been hit and the tires and...
Yes.
Right, and pile up cars, tangle, mess, crash ambulances very easily.
And it was just kind of a fender bender in a way. I think you'd call it a fender bender.
Fender puncture?
Yeah, something like that.
So, aside from the threat of scary, violent men who are lurking around every corner, what did you end up doing about all of these scary things? The mechanical issues, the logistical issues. How did you survive without always being stressed out?
So I just breathe. I'm good at that. Just breathe, keep breathing.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I got to call the insurance company. Got on the
Sure.
phone, and she talked me through it so I could continue on.
Yeah.
Now, it did occur to me, actually one of my children suggested this to me, that I needed to put something over this hole to protect it from rain and splashing mud. And so I realized I could use duct tape.
Sure. Sure,
Okay.
that sounds like a good use for duct tape.
I pulled out my toolbox. I did not have any duct tape. I know. What a fail. How can I say I'm a woman from Michigan and I had no duct tape in my toolbox?
Yeah, we're revoking your card.
Fairly said. So I had to find duct tape. But just like that, I could continue on. My poor trailer.
That poor trailer.
Yeah.
But they're going to fix it
They're
up.
going to fix it up. She's going to be all pretty again.
Yeah. So really, in a really high stress, potentially really scary situation, it sounds like things have a way of just working out. There's always something you can do, someone you can call, and
Always.
those people know what to do. Your insurance gal was like, do this, this, and this.
Right. Okay. I know what to do now.
All
'Cause
right.
She knows what to do.
We got this.
Yes.
It's like a network team that you can rely on.
Exactly.
You're not up there alone.
No, I'm not. And in the meantime, everybody, when they talk to me, like my real estate agent, how's your trip going? Where have you been? What are you doing? Of course.
Sure.
The everyday things like finding a grocery store and a gas station. In specific states, I would find specific grocery stores I liked. fries in Arizona. Love fries. I figured out which gas stations had the clean restrooms and enough room to pull around.
Sounds to me like you're saying there's just a learning curve.
Eventually, I remember the thrill I found when I had to find a post office. It was, I think, just before Christmas. And the line at the post office was the same as it would be back in my home. Yet visiting with people, we all have the same concerns. Another of my concerns was internet.
Oh, yeah.
I had to have internet. Sometimes my cell reception wasn't good enough to use my hotspot. And I discovered that every library across this country will allow you to use their internet for free.
Yeah, they would, wouldn't they?
Mhm.
It's like a safety net.
A
Safety internet.
Yes, exactly.
Thank goodness for public libraries. Little plug. The more you know. Okay, so back to the scary man thing, because we're never going to get away from that. But it seems like this hasn't really been a big issue, but surely, along the way, you've run into guys who were scary.
I can only think of 2 incidents.
Okay, that's
Just-
not bad.
that's not bad.
That's really not
Okay.
bad. I get more than 2 incidences going to the grocery store.
There you go.
So maybe I need to be traveling.
In one incident, it was a group of people, husbands and wives, and they got visiting with me. And one of the guys stepped up close to me and asked me if I was...
A single guy in the group?
No, his wife was right there with him.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But he felt he had to ask me, wasn't I scared out here? And I was like, no. And he said, but you could disappear just like that.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
I just changed the subject and let it go. But afterwards,
Yeah.
I wished I had turned to his wife and said, that's a little scary. Would you do me a favor and keep an eye on him for the next couple of days?
I'm saying.
But I walked away and I really didn't think anything more about him. There were people around me who were friendly and I slept fine.
Okay, so he was creepy, but
Creepy.
it didn't.
It didn't.
No creepers in 2 weeks.
How
Yeah.
you ladies doing?
The other incident, there was a campground where I stayed for 6 weeks. There was a man there who found out that I was single. He stopped by my campsite and invited me to go to a singles dance with him. And I said I wasn't interested. He repeated that invitation a couple different times. One time you wave at every...
Hold that thought. Guys, no means no. Continue.
Agreed. So I'm driving into the park. He's driving out and you wave to everyone. And I realized, it's him.
Oh, so you waved at him.
Yeah. Right? I saw in my rearview mirror that he turned around and come back in following me. Yeah, it's like... And I tried to get back to my campsite and get out of the truck and
Yeah.
get in the trailer quick.
Lock the
And
door.
I didn't make it. He pulled up and honked his horn.
Oh!
And again, and he's asking me to go to the singles dance with him. I can give you a ride, he says.
No. I could disappear.
Now, he never approached me again, but a couple weeks later, I found out from the women who work in the main office that he was asking questions about me to each of them.
Ugh.
One of them got a creepy feeling about it and mentioned it to another, so they found out amongst themselves that
So he was being sneaky enough that he was asking them individually without the
Yes.
other one.
Yes.
Ugh.
So they warned me that I needed to be aware and careful because he was creeping them out.
Yeah.
But, yes, my community was watching out for me.
Yeah, these women that you didn't even really know.
Right, but it became my tribe, that community of people.
Wow.
And so they were watching out for me.
That's nice. That's good to know. So it sounds like, I mean, you've had some creepers. I don't know how you'd avoid that, but it wasn't any more dangerous or scary than running into one in the grocery store.
Exactly.
So it really wasn't any worse than normal creepy stalker stuff.
Right.
What's up?
The ceiling.
So what I'm hearing is that in the 7 months you've been out on this journey,
A grand journey.
all by yourself with your truck and your little camper, it's not that scary.
It's not. You use a little bit of wisdom. Go with it.
Yeah, don't not take precautions. I mean,
Exactly.
there are still dangerous people out there. We're not
Yes.
saying that that's not the case, but the whole
It's-
world's not filled
whole-
with
no.
scary monster boogeymen. So. Who knew? Who knew? This makes me feel good. It's like most people are mostly okay.
And we're talking across the
Across
breadth of the United
the
States.
country.
Good people everywhere I
I
went.
think we need this kind of news right now.
Yeah.
It also sounds to me like you've got this sense of community in these campgrounds. Like people have your back, people look out for you, is what I'm hearing.
Well, they're a group of people all interested in the same thing. They're all camping. It's easy to find something to talk to people about. Where do you come from?
Sure.
Where have you been? Shared community.
That sounds fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Like you go out there and you find your friends that you just haven't happened to meet yet.
Exactly.
That's-
All those friends who've been waiting.
What a riot.
Except if you will remember back, before I took off, I was really focusing on being fiercely independent.
Specifically independent from men's help, right?
Exactly. No man is going to get in my truck and back my trailer up.
Heck no!
Mm-mm. And no man is going to stand there and talk me through it because I know they can't talk to me in a language I understand. By golly, I'm going to do it all myself.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly. And then I arrive at a campground. I'm so tired. It's been a long drive. And I'm having trouble getting the trailer back. A man talked me through it. He spoke words that I understood, and we did it. Another time, a man said to me, "Would you like me to do it? I've driven semis all my life."
Aw, so he had credentials.
Exactly.
It wasn't just some guy mansplaining parking to you.
No. And he just slid it back in so neat and
Yeah.
tidy. And another time, a man and his wife have become really good friends to me, Darren Tish. He was trying to talk me through it. Finally, he said, "Would you like me to back up?" Yes, thank you.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Take the wheel.
Take the wheel.
So it sounds like the fierce need to keep any man's hands off of your truck didn't end up being
No.
an issue.
No, I found very many helpful, nice, great guys who would help me out.
It seems to me that this fiercely independent, keep your hands off on my stuff thing is based on a fear of the threat of men. And it sounds like maybe that threat wasn't so apparent or pressing along the way.
Yeah, not out there in the world. You know, it occurred to me, Cypris, what I have found through my life experience is that the world isn't that dangerous.
Right.
I can be out there and have men help me. I've worked with wonderful men, but my life experience with the fear has stemmed from the most dangerous place I've ever been, and that's inside a marriage.
True that.
You think you can trust, you're safe, right?
That's supposed to be the safe place. What I'm hearing is that all those boogeymen out there, hiding in every dark alley, not so much. Really, more often, the boogeymen closer to home that are the real threat and the reason women often have to fear.
Yeah, not nice, is it?
No, it's kind of depressing. But on the upside, there's a whole world out there to explore.
That there is. And it's a good world.
With nice people who will help you back up your camper and let you know when creepers are asking about you.
Wonderful people.
Okay, so maybe we've helped debunk some of this fear of being vulnerable. Is there anything you'd like to tell women out there who would like to travel but aren't sure that it's a good idea? What would you like to say to women contemplating solo travel?
I would encourage you to stop and take inventory of who you are, your strengths, all the things you do, all the things you take care of, the fears you face, and you make it through. You can do this.
You can do this. I like that. You got this.
Exactly.
I think that's good advice. So many times we feel this heavy responsibility to give time and attention to fear. Like it's our job. Like we're being irresponsible or foolish if we don't let fear have the upper hand in all of our planning. And that's crippling.
Yes, we need to look at
That keeps us at home, letting the man who bullies or beats us be our protector. That's right. Which is not the case for a lot of women, but that...
Exactly. But for those of us who've been there,
Yeah.
we need to stop and think about the fear we're trying to implant in our daughters, granddaughters, sisters, wives.
Don't go out at night. Always travel in packs. I think all of the stuff that we're talking about here, a lot of this stuff you generally address regularly in your blog.
I do. I talk about the fears and the successes and places I've been.
In the humorous moments.
I have had quite a few of those.
And the inspiring moments.
And the quiet peacefulness and the natural beauty of the earth.
So you might want to hop on over and check out Carol's blog, carolintothejourney.com.
And you're going to put it below?
I am going to include a link below so that you can get to it easily. Yes.
And any of you women who are contemplating traveling and need a little encouragement, on the blog, there's a link to my email address. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, you can keep track of Carol's journey and misadventures on her blog. Also, we will be featuring a few more videos upcoming here. You can stay tuned to check those out. Thanks so much for watching this video and having this discussion with us. Don't forget, you can like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, follow along on Facebook and Instagram, and keep track of Carol on
carolintothejourney.com.
Hi.
Hey. And don't forget to keep
Keep
it wild.
See you in the next video.
That was so awesome. I can't
Traveling a lot.
Sorry.
Wait for this. Lived experience. No. Guest with us today. With me. Okay, let's see. What is that?
It's my phone.
Telling people what you were planning. What? I cut you off.
No, my nose was itching. My nose was itching.
Stay tuned. And losing my train of thought.
Ooh, there he goes.
So
Outtakes.
it's devolving rapidly.
You're killing it.
I straw back.
This is unlike any other tribe I've ever been a part of.